AITA for telling my husband and his family to suck it up when they complained about my daughter's wedding. I won't complicate this. I have a daughter Kara who is not my biological daughter, nor was she my legal daughter until she reached the age of 18 when she asked me to adopt her as an adult. I married my husband when she was 14 and together we have 2 children. Kara gets along okay with my husband, but admittedly her upbringing means she was maybe not as able to bond with a father figure as she was with a mother figure, and her age was also a factor. Regardless, everyone gets along, and I think that is the best you expect when you have someone who went through as much as she did at a young age. Kara is engaged and came to me recently and told me she would like to walk with me down the aisle and do a dance with me while her fiancé dances with his mom. She told me she didn't know how to ask for that without hurting my husband. I told her he would understand and I would be honored to do it. I did not expect my husband and his parents to take offense. They believe she snubbed my husband and is making it seem like he's nothing. After listening to them complain about this for 10 minutes, I told them to suck it up and accept that she asked me, her mom, to do both of those parts of the wedding and that I was proud to do it. I dared them to tell me I was less deserving than my husband. My husband and his parents believe I wasn't very understanding and downright rude, according to my mail. AITA. So to clarify for people, because I was not clear, my husband is not her father, he is her stepfather through me. I was married before and she was my stepdaughter who I ended up with custody of but never legally adopted as a minor because her biological mother was alive. She has trauma relating to father figures, 2 prior ones to be exact. So she has never really considered my husband as such, but their relationship has been good considering everything she has been through. I did adopt her when she turned 18, not my husband, just me. Adding some more to this, had my husband confided in me that his feelings were hurt, that would be one thing, but he did not. He went to his parents and then all 3 decided to take offense to the fact not only was he not asked but I was. And while they never came out directly and told me that I should say no, it was implied throughout their complaints, none of which were about his hurt feelings and all about the snub and how unbelievable it was that I would be filling that role in her wedding. NTA info. Did just you adopt her or did you and your husband both adopt her? Not that it makes a difference, I'm just curious. Bottom line is she can ask whomever she wants to walk her down the aisle, it's no one else's damn business. When it's their wedding they can be in charge of it. Just me. Kara is engaged and came to me recently and told me she would like to walk with me down the aisle and do a dance with me while her fiancé dances with his mom. NTA, this is Bo today I fucked up. Good job, mom. NTA. Next time they bitch and moan, call them out by asking sincerely, why is what you want more important than the bride? Why do you deserve to have input in her wedding? What have you done for Kara that makes you feel so entitled to be miffed about this? The main thing to remember is they don't have any reason to be a part of this wedding. They are just guests. NTA. This isn't the 1700s. You can have whoever you want, if anyone at all, walking you down the aisle. He's not her father, so WTF did they all expect him to walk her down? Her day, her choice, case closed. They expect it cause he's a manly man. And getting overlooked for what is typically a man role is enough to send his ego tumbling down, especially when the role is given to a woman. Gasp. AITA for uninviting my grandma to my wedding. So I'm getting married, and when I was on call with my grandmother, 75, she was super excited to come and I was excited to have her there. I'm her oldest grandchild, so we have a special relationship. But a few days ago she learned that my sister, my maid of honor, is gay and I invited her girlfriend. She was furious about the gay thing and told me that either I uninvite the girlfriend or she doesn't come, and I immediately said that if this is the way she thinks, I don't want her there. Now my whole family is telling me to just uninvite the girlfriend and re-invite my grandma. Sounds bad, but my fiance, my sister and her girlfriend live in one apartment now, They lost an apartment for 2020 reasons, and the girlfriend has basically been my roommate for 6 months now. I'm very close to her, closer than my granny actually, and I really want her there. My family's opinion is that I am the asshole. Edit, I'm Eastern European and homophobia is still very present here. That's why the family is okay with granny's behavior even though they love my sister and tolerate her GF. It's all around them. Edit 2, I was never considering uninviting the girlfriend. The question is, am I the asshole for uninviting grandma rather than letting her make the decision? Update, as many of you suggested, I told my sister and her GF. My sister was mad that I didn't tell her sooner, but we ended up agreeing that grandma, and one more relative actually, are not invited and no way back. Turned out granny and especially the other relative were bullying them on Facebook and other social media, but mostly FB, and were outing them online. Apparently both have been messaging my sister to verbally abuse her since she came out, and she didn't want to tell me for the same reason I didn't tell her about the wedding stuff. So I'm no longer questioning who the asshole here is. So I ask mods to stop the comments, cause my dumbass has no idea how to do that. Thank you to everyone who believes my granny can change, and I will keep trying with her after the wedding. NTA, your grandma said her or sister's GF and you chose. She shouldn't have given you an ultimatum for your own wedding. It is your wedding and it's up to you to decide who is there. Grandma is TA not only for being homophobic but for trying to back you in a corner and use you loving her against you to push her beliefs onto you and your wedding. Sucks to suck May. NTA, your wedding. Invite whoever you want. They are all the R for dictating who you should invite. That being said, I just invite both. Then if the grandma doesn't come, then it's on her and not you. Yeah, that's the asshole part for me. I just really don't want my granny there now. I love her, but I don't want the drama she would cause even if she came. NTA, this isn't just an issue of your choosing the GF or your grandma. It's also about choosing your sister, and choosing to love and respect her as she is. Your grandmother's reaction was terrible, her demand was outrageous, and your family is being ridiculous. I'm sorry that you have to deal with this. NTA, doing the right thing isn't always popular. Even if you hadn't been living together, disinviting the GFBC of bigotry wouldn't be morally right. Have a wonderful wedding. Edit to say many thanks for the awards and upvotes. I had a similar sitch when my brother came out, so this post struck a nerve. If you're gay, there's more of us who have your back than those who don't. Heart. AITA for blowing up when I found that my husband recorded my therapy session. My 26F. Mom passed away in December. It was hard for me to process what happened. I have to say, me and Mom had a lot of issues between us. There's so much that I couldn't say to her, and I'm struggling with grief. My dad is deceased, my mom was my remaining parent, and growing up I had many issues with her. I went no contact with her several times. Then I reconnected with her, and we'd get into an argument again and the same thing happened. I feel bad for not trying enough to fix the situation. I keep getting shamed by family members asking if I'm happy now that my mom is gone, but how can someone be happy when their mother pass away? I'm a mess, plus I'm 5 months pregnant after 2 miscarriages and it's been difficult. I started therapy 2 weeks ago. It's online therapy. I go into the bedroom and I have my session with my therapist. I ask my husband to not come into the room or interrupt after he insisted he wanted to be in the room but wasn't allowed. He then started coming in several times, just barging in, bringing me coffee or water, but I know it's a way for him to hear something. I got annoyed. I told him he was causing me so much stress and he stopped coming into the room. 2 days later, my husband stopped asking me questions all of a sudden, stopped insisting on being in the room, stopped interrupting my sessions. I thought he finally got it, but yesterday as I was doing some cleaning, I heard my own voice coming from the bedroom. I was puzzled. I walked into the bedroom and found my husband with his phone on his ear listening to my voice. I then realized that he recorded my voice during my therapy session and was playing the recording. I asked him, he said it was nothing, then he admitted it was a recording of my therapy session. I lost it. I blew up and I started yelling at him. He told me to calm down, it was no no big deal. That he was just curious to know and also wanted to figure out what my problem is and maybe help out. I told him it wasn't his place, and just because we're married doesn't mean he can disrespect me and be inconsiderate of my feelings. This is a very important thing to me, and he kept saying I'm sorry, but I just couldn't help it. I was infuriated. There were things between my mom and I that I find hard to talk about, and I found what he did disrespectful. I walked out and he kept saying I overreacted and that he's not a stranger, he's my husband. I went to stay with my sister, who said I was harsh on him and shouldn't have reacted this way. He apologized and said he already deleted it. Even said that I can take a few days to stay with my sister to calm down after he saw how much I was mad. I should mention that he mentioned several times that he was worried about me because I haven't been talking to him much. And I understand he was worried, but that is not an excuse. Information: I'm sorry I forgot to mention my husband's age. He's 31. Oh hell no. Let's see here. Ignored your boundaries when you asked him for privacy. Continued to ignore your boundaries when you reiterated. Only stopped interrupting or trying to listen when he secretly recorded your private session with your therapist. Still hasn't apologized and is 1. Telling you to calm down, 2. Saying that you overreacted, and 3. Present himself as the good guy because he's trying to help. Schedule a session with therapist immediately and talk over how you are going to establish boundaries if you choose to remain in this marriage. This is a huge violation. Your sister is also an A for questioning your reaction. He raped your innermost thoughts. He ignored your no's and pushed ahead without consent for emotions that you did not willingly give him. You are NTA, and I hope you can find a safe place to gather your emotions, talk to your therapist, and determine your next steps. Unless your husband does a 180 and recognizes that he was 100% in the wrong here and has a lot of fixing of himself, you should get out now. Edit, formatting. NTA. Has he always been this controlling? Because maybe you should stop overlooking it. No, not always. In fact, he has been very supportive after my mother's passing. But I just can't accept that he did this. I'm even shocked because he's not normally like this. I understand he wants to help since I haven't been talking to him much these days, but I already told him I needed privacy. NTA. Your husband is a massive R though. What got to me was when he kept repeating I'm sorry but I just couldn't help it. A version of those words were said to me by my ex-husband. When I had finally had enough of his emotionally abusive behavior, I told him I wanted a divorce. He countered, in a bid to change my mind / apologize. I knew I was being mean to you, I just couldn't help myself at that moment. It felt like the world stopped, became dead silent, and I could hear a record screech. I looked into my ex's eyes and realized very chillingly that I had no idea who the hell I married. The fact that he had no issue whatsoever in being cruel to me and justifying it, that he just couldn't help himself, scared the living crap out of me. I understood very clearly that this man was a danger to me and I needed to get gone. It's been 10 years and to this day I will never forget what he said, because at that moment he revealed exactly who he was. Your husband is the same way up. He has just shown you exactly who he is. He has no respect for you. His claim that he wants to help you is a lie. He wants to know what makes you tick so he can use that information to manipulate you in future. True partner does not disregard the other's boundaries, does not surreptitiously record a private conversation, and most importantly, he wasn't planning on being caught. This man is giving you a clear picture of what the future holds should you stay. It took me 13 years to leave my ex. Please don't waste your life looking over your shoulder at what the next thing your husband will do. Edited to add massive thank yous for the awards and silvers. Wow,